Roadhouse 1989 Paradigm Review show. Welcome to the show. Just making sure I spelled my name right. There's no E, so I'm going to change that real quick. You guys will notice our top-notch production. Gaz, aka Moss Shinobi, and we're fresh off. We got a bunch of things. First and foremost, head on over to Average Superstar TV. Go check out the Damien Leone and David Howard Thornton interview with Loren, the star and director of the Terrifier trilogy franchise. And then also he's got a brand new interview with Lou Temple, Devil's Rejects, all the Rob Zombie projects, and I need to check that out myself. Without further ado, making his return to the show, actor, writer, director, creator of the Dark Military franchise. Oh, wait till he's locked in his Tron Command Center. Loren Lepre.
I thought you lost him then. I was going to say.
Oh, we lost him already.
All right, I ran to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, you going to kick me out for a second? I'm going to go pee.
Yeah, you're going to have to hold it. So making his return, Loren Lepre, Average Superstar TV. Channel link will be below in the description. Make sure you guys check out. Of course, Laura and I have been doing the current events over there with our boy Dave, and you've got a bunch of new stuff. Shouted out a couple things. How you doing, Mr. Lepre?
I'm doing great, and you guys get points off because I've got my Brad Wesley shirt ready.
Well,
read that. Everybody, read it. Go ahead.
That is, I can't compete with that.
Yeah,
Jason Petty is coming here because of me. Oh yeah, it's a classic. I've got lowly Nirvana today. I don't even have my PXF uniform, so I'm not.
By the way, this is a shirt that it's one in every 20, but like that one guy, it's always a guy when he sees this loses his mind.
Yeah. Loren may or may not have made that one himself, but I'm not going to specify.
No, it was. I think it's this T-shirts.com. Like they have tons of retro. I was not looking for this. It was just like suggested, and I was like, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'll overpay for that. I don't care. I have to have it.
The only thing I forgot to shout out in the intro, the creator of the Saturday Night Thing short film, Roadhouse fan film short. It's over on Average Superstar TV. The link's below in the description. Absolutely hilarious. Highly recommend everybody watch that.
It's a creative psychological trauma for me because I've never forgotten in all the years that we've known you, Lauren. I've never forgotten that recreation of the "I'm on my break" scene. No offense to the actor on that scene, it disgusts me to this day. So I'm gonna have to get you back.
Steve's character, whoever that actor was like a built guy and all that, and Justin Silverman's not exactly the most built guy, so it was great. It was
hilarious.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll definitely get to that sequence. I picked up where you scooped the title from on this watch, Loren, so that was a nice use of the dialogue.
Yeah, that was a collaboration with me and Antonio Paluzzo from Hack the Movies, because we were diehard, so we just had and honestly, we changed that script about 40% of it the day of. We had to because it was snowing. It was almost a foot of snow, and we were losing. We were supposed to be so much more, but like. That is cross this, but it was one of those like, was this for YouTube? We don't care. Like,
still a classic. Of course, the ECW cameo. Definitely get over there to Lauren's channel. Rest in peace, amazing. And of course, the man of the hour. Rest in peace to Patrick Swayze, the GOAT. Of course, major fanboyism on this channel. Point Break, Red Dawn pedigree, and you could go on and on. You can't list them all in one show, but. Right off the rip, shout out to everybody in the chat. Fire Pixie, what up? I thought you had work, Pixie. So, yes, I'm your boy, Ross Garrett. We will go right into the synopsis. A legendary bouncer comes to restore order at a notorious bar, but runs afoul of a ruthless crime boss who controls the town. The original one-person army action genre, action thriller. Too many classic scenes, quotables to name, gentlemen. But right off the rip, so... maybe you guys picked this up. What was that first location Dalton was in at the fancy bar? Because he had the New York plates, or did it say where that was?
I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm just gonna guess it was because, like, what you're talking 1989, like the Mecca of the world, and here's he's gonna take a 2-day drive. I'm gonna guess to get there.
Yeah,
that's why he told his new boss. When do I expect you?
I'll get there. I don't fly. It's too risky.
Yes.
1989 planes.
It's not risky going to a bar and really these tempered guys where he can get shot. That's not too dangerous.
The million guns that got pulled on him in this movie, or that one place where the dude stabbed him in that first scene. Yeah. Apparently that wasn't much risk.
No. Flying might be a lot more safer.
Yeah, the Tai Chi. I don't know what the status of TSA was back then, but the Tai Chi martial arts, I mean, just too much to name in the pedigree. So the crappy music that Brad Wesley was listening to and the running Dalton off the road scene.
Shaboom, shaboom.
Yeah, the music. Okay, so some of the music is so bad when Wesley's whatever she was, his concubine, was doing the weird 80s workout thing. Yeah. And like when it was playing, I don't know, like the first watch of this, you guys had the same impression. I thought that was just the score of the scene because some of the music in the movie is so bad until Wesley tells her to turn it off. Like, turn that crap off. I was like, oh, whatever. I was like, this must be the music playing in the scene.
It's got no heart.
Interesting fun fact, Ross, on that scene where there's the 1950s song playing and they sway in the car side to side. Guns N' Roses covered that on the Spaghetti Incident.
Wow.
And it's equally as awful.
Yeah. They also, Guns N' Roses also
Which song was this? Because
the scene where Brad Wesley is swaying his car side to side and it's got the 1950s song playing "Life Is a Dream."
Shaboom, shaboom. Guns N' Roses don't cover that.
It's on Spaghetti Incident.
They don't cover that. I'm GNR. I'm just letting you know they do not cover that.
I'm gonna check now so we can find out.
You can check it, but no, they don't.
There might be. Lauren knows his music. He's from the metal.
That's like my favorite band. I know that album. It's not. I think you're thinking of "Since I Don't Have You."
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's not. Yeah,
the opening. Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They also cover "Girl, You're Good Game Girl, You're Game Girl," the Charles Manson song, and that also sucks regardless of who sings it, whether it's Axl
that
or
that was like the extended closing song. Yeah, so.
Secret song, garbage. Back to and I love GNR. Don't get me wrong. Back to the picture of the hour, Roadhouse, legendary classic. Of course, we had to have Loren back on here to make up for our watch and review of the Roadhouse remake, which you know what I mean. I'll probably throw something at you near the end on that, Loren, before you have to go. But I mean, you're not ever going to watch that one, right, Loren? You have a strict policy.
Never. Yeah, you get never.
Cool.
Shoot me. I'm not. I just can't do it. Like. Now, the only way to stop remakes is to stop paying to see them. And everybody is like, "Oh, I went and saw it." I'm like, "Well, great. I think I got him so many hits because it was free." But like you didn't stop it.
Yeah, like, no, it's
Dalton doesn't have a last name. Like he doesn't fight on a boat.
Again, this one, it's only 89. I mean, they're now talking about, you know, remaking stuff from 99 and 2000, which, you know, we all think is crazy. But
like, I think Gosling just got the rights to the Killer Clowns, and I'm like, are you making this serious? Because that's not you don't do that with the Killer Clowns.
Right. They're gonna just like the Mickey Mouse thing and all those other horrors with the the children's cartoon and make it evil.
I mean, as I said, the last call. I think I said that before we went live. At least, okay, it's not great. It isn't great. I've seen a lot worse, but at least there's some connection, homage to the original. It's Dalton's son in the last call. So
yeah,
I mean, it's very loose and it's a very kind of poor substitute remake of the original in a way before we got the 2024 version. But I suppose at least there's some kind of connection there. I mean, it's loose at best, but that's as kind as the kindest thing I can say about it, I guess.
So that's exactly what I was saying, like the total unnecessary, remake. Like, you know, I think it would have been better, and like kind of along the lines of what Loren was saying. It's just like, don't call him Dalton, you know, just have it be, or call the place like Roadhouse, just have it be a Roadhouse bar, and like do it all without calling the movie Roadhouse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Still have it be, you know, inspired by, you know what I mean, without being like it's Roadhouse 2024. It's just the wrong way to go. Mostly, especially after Swayze passed for one, and mostly because this one is too epic. There's no competing with it.
When you try to do something like that, all I ask, like, if you're gonna try to piggyback off the fans, like, say Dalton's like cousin, like, change the timeline. just act like that happened, but we're over here in a different story with a different character. Don't just like, let's make it modern. And he's a UFC fighter. Like, what? Why are you a bouncer if you're a UFC? I mean, nothing makes sense. Like,
I'll explain that to you. That's what I was alluding to earlier. Like, what would have been cool since this was '89, and this is like a big trend. Obviously, you know, Loren, in horror we've talked about this. Like, it would have been cool if they set it in like '90, like a year later, and had it be in the '90s.
Yeah.
Like 80s, 90s. Like that would have been as Loren said, that's a workaround. That's a way around it.
Yeah.
Where like 2024 or whatever year that was, cell phones and UFC, it just doesn't work for Roadhouse.
Well, bro, they could be doing that. I'm not going to go too far into this, but it's kind of similar to this proposed remake of Bloodsport, UFC fighter, blah blah. So it's.
Yeah, especially because Zack Snyder's doing an actual UFC movie. We don't need to see like every bar bouncer, like Loren said, and every fighter guy be a UFC fighter or whatever, former UFC fighter. Now, even the Smashing Machine, you must have heard of that, Loren. A24.
October 3rd, and I got Superman are the only 2 movies this year that I will pay for. That's how bad I think the bar is set.
Yes.
Yeah. So this Monday, I have a Thunderbolts being said. That being what I just said there is kind of contradiction, but I have Thunderbolts review on Monday. And the only reason is because for my birthday weekend, I went to the drive-in and I had either choice between on that screen Thunderbolts or The Accountant, and like I can't do Ben Affleck as an action star, so I ran with the Bolts and I gave them rope and they hung up and they hung themselves with it. So on Monday.
The greatest villain ever, Bob.
That's what Gaz said. You guys.
I'm the Diet Coke, Dr. Manhattan. Like I was like, what?
Let's beat a supervillain by giving him a cuddle.
Like, that's your superhero ending. A hug. Wow, we're down to this, huh?
Yeah.
You need superpowers for this.
I think the MCU has finally hit the floor. And the funniest thing is their brass is going around like, yeah, Thunderbolts. They're talking about it like they did something good, like they rebranded, and all of a sudden the MCU movies are going to be good now. I did see Sinners, Loren. Did you hear anything about that?
No.
It's pretty decent, man. It's the director of Black Panther, which I actually didn't see any of those, but
I have no interest. Like
I know exactly what happens because it's the same Marvel origin theory of story of every other character. But the way he directed Sinners is epic. It's super dark. It's way too long. It's like 2.5 hours or something. But it's vampires. I'll just tell you guys that. But
I'm scared of that though. With you saying it was more like a musical, I can't stand musicals.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that, but like there was like 10 songs they sing in it, guys. You know what I mean? So like, it's not a musical, but it's heavy on the singing sequence.
Yeah, that's just a no for me.
If you could watch a cut without the sing songs, you'd probably be fine.
Yes,
you know what I mean? But it's worth the watch. I don't think I'll ever watch it again because it's 3 hours long. So, good.
Those movies are made to think they're going to be good. Where I don't know if Roadhouse understood that every waking minute. This was almost like except Pee-wee knew what he was doing. Every minute of the film is something ridiculously funny with Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And every minute, every scene, even in the background, the more I watch it, I'm like, were they serious with that?
Yeah, dude. I don't know who wrote this, or I don't know if you know, Loren, but this guy is a comedic, unintentional genius with the dialogue because there's like he calls Dalton chicken dick earlier on in the movie, and then what Garrett says in the fight, like dickless, like I sure as shit ain't gonna show you my dick, like
which not man, like he didn't ask to see it, like he didn't ask to see it.
These are fight scenes, people. This is not like dramatic.
Like out of the gate, like he stabs and he fixes it himself, right? And then he gets offered. He wants 5,000 up front and 500 a night. How much are these beers in Kansas City? Like outside of it, like they got to be 49 cents. How you ever gonna like pay back Dalton? Just on the 5,000 up front, 500 a night. You think he'd just like, and I need my car's going to get vandalized. So how about a drive to and from? But they don't do that. Don't buy the car, and every single night it's destroyed. It's like this is just so off the rails. And how much money are you going to make in a cheap state? Like I'm not calling the people cheap. It's just Kansas City is one of those top 10 states. It's like easier to live in. Like how much money are you going to get back with the same house band? It's never changed once. Like, let's have a freaking 51st dates repeatedly and keep going to the
Groundhog Day. Well, yeah, and that's the thing too. He's head of security, so it's not like he's like assistant bar manager or anything that would justify that salary. But he's got to whip the place into shape, guys. There's too many ruffians. Well, Loren was right per Wikipedia. James Dalton is a professional bouncer working security for a club in New York City. Although stoic and cool-headed, Dalton's tormented by memories of a man he killed in self-defense by ripping out his throat. So we know.
Gave him a name, James.
That's what it says on Wikipedia. I don't. We'd have to check. What does it say on IMDb? Does it have his?
I don't know, but I don't like it.
Yeah, James Dalton. Wow. Yeah, you just like the single.
Yes, that was made it into mystery.
Wade Garrett had two, and he was a legend.
Yeah.
I've got one musical, but I've actually remembered one musical fun fact correctly. I've just put it in the chat. I was saying to you earlier, Ross, I'm sure the band you seen in the opening when Dalton's in New York. When I saw that, Loren, I was like, I'm sure that's the band from Dusk Till Dawn 1. And
it's a hard song to find. I have it ripped, but it's from the movie.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa. So that
was that right? Because I looked it up and I thought it said the Healy band, the Jeff Healy band, and I thought the guys from Dusk Till Dawn were Tito and Tarantula.
Apparently it says the band featured in the opening of Roadhouse 89. I've just put it in the chat up here.
Yeah, I'll put it up.
Dusk Till Dawn, the same one.
They say don't throw stones at who you don't know. I always remember that.
Well, that's awesome.
When we did our short film spoof, the Saturday Night thing, we were actually going to just like mirror it like a chorus.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
We thought about doing that, but we ran out of time.
Yeah, it happens. No, I mean that's it. That's a nice little Dusk Till Dawn connection Gaz found, because obviously Dusk Till Dawn is the shit. And honestly, Sinners kind of gives those Dusk Till Dawn vibes. All right, Jeff Healy performed at the bar. Nice. Oh no, okay, that's the other dudes. Yeah. So let's see what we were talking about. Man, he killed self-defense. Frank Teitman is a businessman, recruits Dalton to take over security at his club Double Deuce in Jasper, Missouri. Teitman plans to invest substantial funds to the dilapidated club and needs Dalton's help regarding skills to tackle the endemic violence and rough customers. I mean, right off the rip, you know what I mean? When Dalton finally shows up there, he's obviously just like smoking butts and orders a coffee black. And that's when they're still like throwing bottles at the guy. So you got the one dude dancing in front of the band. He's just shirtless. You know what I mean? That
was great with Terry Funk. Like for the hey, vodka rocks. So what do you say?
Yeah.
Nipple. Then
nipple.
He hits him and he throws him into the furniture. Like you're destroy. Your idea is to protect the place. You destroy the place.
Smashes the table.
The other guys, get him out of here now.
Yeah. He grabs the dude's hand with that pulls out the switchblade. Just so many funny scenes, obviously, with them throwing beers at the band and stuff. And then, like, hey, you want to get nipple to nipple? And she's like, I could do that myself.
Like, wow, like who did it?
What does that mean? And the one, so the creepy groping scene, and he's like, hey, you want to like liquor for $10 each?
Oh, and he says that,
like, super uncomfortable like scene where he's like groping her. Then that's what starts the fight. Obviously, he punches that guy in his face with the backhand.
Well, he actually just pushes him with his forearm. It's like I was like, that's what you do. Push him. I was like,
the fight.
It's just. I said it's like Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Every minute, something just would never happen. This is the whole thing from start to finish. The fact that Dalton lives on the other side of Brad Wesley, neither one of them are like, I should go over and shoot him, but we can't do that. That's
you have like 20 henchmen to ruin the movie. So many good things. Obviously, so like. I'll tell you guys this one. This is pretty funny. So when I work security, you do like those like online like training things. And one of my jobs, they literally had this like walk them out but be nice speech. It was like, hey, it was like, so you're going to learn how to be a bouncer. By the way, here's a bunch of clips from Roadhouse. I'm like, oh, really? Is Roadhouse my realistic training for how to work a downtown San Diego nightclub with 1,000 people in it?
It's just the mystique of being nice. But you can say you are being paid to take some verbal abuse. That's about the only thing. Like you got to know. But you also got your limit. Like this guy's, you're not going to sit there and take that either. But like you are supposed to push me. I was at security at the Trocadero for 13 years. Like I know the rules, but there has been a time or two where somebody just went 0 to 100 and I didn't respond good.
Someone starts swinging on you, sure. You know what I mean? Or stabs me in the arm, James Dalton style. I just walk inside nonchalantly and stitch myself back together, right, Loren?
Yeah, like it just doesn't work. But
of course, the numbers that Loren quoted for privacy, Dalton stays in a sparse barn owned by a farmer named Emmett. So when he sets up his the punching bags, he's obviously got like the Bruce Lee thing for the Muay Thai, and then he climbs the rope to the second level for the punching bag. That's obviously when him and Wade square off. But after that first night, when the bartender, the one that sings, finds him and he gets out of bed bare-assed, you might notice some things about that, Fire Pixie, because Swayze goes full bare-ass when he puts his jeans on. And the first thing he does, wakes up, smokes a butt. You know what I mean?
That's what you do in the morning. But if you also pay attention when when he's punching the bag and then he climbs and Wade Garrett messes up which leg is bad for a second as he gets to the ladder. Like you see a fall, like wait, which leg is it?
That's a great blooper.
That, like Wade Garrett, like he's the guy I love the most the whole movie. But the fact that like there were Marines that tried to jump on stage and he just walks up with a bad leg and pulls in shape U.S. Ranger down or whatever. It's like they didn't beat the shit out of him. Like was this like the funniest thing?
the biggest stretch of realism in the movie. Of course,
the dialogue was good in that scene.
You can just grab military people that are all jocked up and drinking in the bar, and they're fine with it.
Did they teach me the Swayze roundhouse? No, unfortunately, I had that down way before I worked security, Pixie. So I've been I've been perfecting that for years. Sam Elliott, is this not his most random movie, Loren? Like just for this guy to show up in this?
I heard this is the one movie he doesn't like to talk about. I've heard that. I haven't heard him actually say it, but everybody's just like he never speaks it. Like he's embarrassed by it. But I'm like, dude.
Like his character was the only grounded thing in this film.
I would have loved if they now if you're gonna make a sequel, I'd like to see a younger Wade Garrett like on the ride.
That would be prequel. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Before Dalton.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He'd be like Hypnon to be like him.
And if they did that, what about if they ended that movie on the meet in Albuquerque, where Dalton talks and Wade talks about, when they got into that fight, I think one of them got smashed on the back of the head. Yeah, that's when Wade's, I think he's mentioning that to Dalton and Kelly Lynch's character, I think when he first meets them. So if they kind of did a film like that, Loren, and ended it with Dalton and Wade then meeting and on that, showing you that fight that happened.
Yeah.
Would that be okay? Would you be okay with that?
I'd be all right. Listen, I'm all right if you go beforehand, even if you want to make a young Dalton, or Wade, if you want to take a middle film and pick up Wade picking up Dalton and teaching him the rope. I'm fine. You don't say, hi, we're going to put this in modern time. And it's like, and you're going to completely change it. Now we're fighting on a boat and Conor McGregor can't act. Just give him cocaine and let him scream like he always does. That's their movie.
The thing about Conor, he comes in as like a total random, European villain, like insert guy from Ireland and Miami. Was it? I don't even remember where the location was, guys. Honestly, I forgot. And then there is no mentor character. There is no Wade Garrett, like we were saying, Loren. So it's just like Dalton on his own. You know what I mean? So it's like it totally lost.
I just didn't even I heard he asked if they have insurance before they fight. Like get this. He's gonna drive them to the hospital. Like, come on. Like this is that was like bad cheesy 80s. Like, and you try if you're gonna stay there, go there and let us have fun with it. But this this is modern. Like, really, this is what you're doing? I was like, no.
The one thing is, like, Jake Gyllenhaal was insanely conditioned since Southpaw is like the most you've ever seen him looking that cut. Now,
Southpaw is one of the worst paced told stories I've ever heard in my life, but he was good in it. But like the story is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, like in many years.
Well, apparently
it's almost Roadhouse predictable. Like that movie.
Roadhouse predictable.
The fact that like they're in that lobby where his wife gets shot and there's not a million cameras to see who did it, and they still give him a shot at the title when he's down and he wins. And I'm like, you think he's like everyone's suspended like until like everybody's suspended? There was just a murder here. Like it's so bad. It was so predictable. And even at the end, like he's going to say something about the wife. Your wife's not here to save you. Not like there it goes again. Like you could call it. It was almost like the Siberian film. I could literally call everything that was coming next because I could see the writer and the director what their vision was. So it's like that's what's going to happen now.
So it could have been worse because they were looking at Eminem Marshall Mathers to play Southpaw. So I mean, at least we got Jake Gyllenhaal. You know what I mean? So I can.
Jake's acting in that, and in anything he does, especially like Nightcrawler. I watched Nightcrawler. I didn't want to act anymore because I was like, you're never gonna like. There's some people that are just so far beyond me that like, what am I doing?
Zodiac, even though Robert Graysmith is a pretty rough person in real life, the way Gyllenhaal plays him in Zodiac is pretty spot on, perfect. Let me get us back into here. So he's staying over at the barn, and of course that's across the river. As Loren said, it's across the river where Brad Wesley, a crime
lord,
lord,
go out and just flip each other off every day. There's a war going on.
Yeah. So Dalton's waking up in the morning doing Tai Chi stretches and katas, and
he's riding his quad.
Wesley is on the quad. As Loren said, you can't take a rifle or a pistol and just shoot him directly across the river, and that would end the whole.
It would. And like, what was going to happen? The horse is going to be the weakness. Like there was nothing. That was like Dalton's there. Like he doesn't. When he sees the room, first off, it's $100, which like I'll go move there right now. But at the same time, there's another thing of like, it's Kansas, right? So how much summer's left before that room gets freezing cold?
Right. Yeah.
I don't see that holding heat. That place.
But the fact that he was living in that barn, they couldn't, as Loren said, all the things that happened in this, they were unable to recreate in the remake, to no one's surprise. Wesley's nephew Pat, who's one of the fired. Okay, so wait, did we already talk about that?
From
okay,
the
so
Band X, yes, Pat is the Band X. Yep.
Yeah, he kicks Pat and the drug dealing girl off the staff, and then Morgan, he was the big meathead guy, right? Yeah. And they later on return for revenge in his new manager's office with Tintin, and obviously a hilarious fight when Pat pulls out the big Rambo knife and tries to stab Dalton.
So why did Brad Wesley, when Pat was fired, just not find him a job himself? Like just get him a factory job. He's like, oh, if he hasn't got me, who's he got? Like, well,
yeah, exactly. Hold on. He explained it now. When the goons came back after they got their asses kicked, he said, it's my sister, and I'm the only one he has left. So he had to get him that one job, Loren. They established that. Come on, stop poking through the plot.
Yeah, that's good script writing.
That was solid enough for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, but his reaction, so he beats up Connor, like, who's going to apologize to me? I'm sorry, sir. I believe you, Tintin, but I don't believe you. And he just starts beating the shit out of his own guy. He's like, you're a tough guy.
And then he beats up O'Reilly. That was his O'Brien.
Yeah. And then,
by the way, O'Brien did not have any offense in any of the fights. Straight to the end. I was just like, at least Tinker like stabs Dalton in the shoulder, and everybody had something. But that O'Brien dude did nothing. And I'm looking at him like, that guy's like 52 years old. Like
walking punching bag. Yeah, what's he doing being a street goon at that age? You know what I mean?
He was balding. I was just like, dude, you're not intimidating at all. Like,
how are you still on his? At least like Jimmy has like the pool stick and the stick fighting and the kung fu. Like the other guys,
like he's a small little house. If he hits you with all that power, it might hurt. But
Tintin's huge, but he's slow.
I looked this up actually not too long ago. I kind of knew the answer, but that was filmed in South Carolina, I believe, and all that's not a real place. I think it was actually like a factory. It was like they made it a soundstage, so it's all gone. Like you can't go and visit.
Right.
I think the only thing that actually you could is Red's Red shop, but if it's even still a shop. But it's like I would go to a road. I would go there. I would road trip there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Roadhouse road trip. But you know what? It's weird, right? There's 3 or 4 movies in this epic crime saga, which is Roadhouse, and it's the action brawler, you know what I mean? But honestly, the way they did those pyrotechnics with the explosion when they burned down Red's shop and they lit Emmett's house on fire, I'm sure some budget went to that because it did look good. I mean, obviously Loren will point out this is before the age of the CGI fire infection of the 2000s to mid 2000s, so at least looked like it was practical effects.
I can always call it if it's real fire or not. And I haven't seen a real fire in a long time because I understand. But by the way, the inside of Roadhouse looks like the inside of Porky's. Knows Porky's really good. It's literally the same place.
For sure. You
can't go to Porky's either because that was built to get ripped down.
Yeah. Hilarious stuff. But so there's that big brawl in the office there. Everybody goes out the window and they pull everybody outside, and that establishes Pat. That's basically when they hey, the liquor comes from Wesley. It's basically establishing basically the money train.
If you always pay attention when Pat gets punched in the nose, if you look closely, the blood's already coming out of his nose before. It's out so bad. They probably did multiple takes. Yeah. And after a while, they forgot to wipe him, but he's already bleeding before he gets punched.
Yeah, I love those kind of bloopers. I seen one in Transporter 2 when he fought that dreadlock dude and he smashed something on his feet to trip him and it breaks before his feet even touch it, and then the guy falls over. It's always funny.
Even in Dogma, when they zoom in on Alanis Morissette before she takes away all the dead people, you see Matt Damon move his leg. You actually see him moving as the camera's zooming in on Alanis Morissette. You're yeah. I was like, I don't know why he picked that frame, but
it's always
it's not even a little move; it's a full movement, 2 feet.
Yeah. So Loren did when we did our what bad sequels are really good. Loren picked Boondock Saints, and our boy Crypt Rick requested to come on and do Boondock Saints 2 with us. So hopefully we'll get you back for that, Loren.
I'm ready now.
Troy Duffy was talking, and then in the epic spoiler, I hope you guys have seen this when Il Duce's execution scene. All you see are the shots after, because when the bullet actually hits him, Troy cut that out of the final cut. So all you see is him bleeding after he got shot. So it's kind of interesting of just, like Loren said, what makes it into the final cut of no criticism of Troy though. Big fan of his stuff. So where we, so yeah, the fight with those guys, I'm trying to remember what happens after that. I know later on when the goons show up, they take it out. So Dalton. Oh wait, Dalton goes to the hospital because he got stabbed. Pain don't hurt
for the first time. Yes.
Yeah, Dr. Clay. Pain don't hurt. The classic "Pain don't hurt" quote, and then
medical records with him because only a cancer patient or someone terminally ill would do that. But
a random bouncer that keeps a manila folder of his metal records in the 80s. I believe it.
Yep.
A little bit of suspense.
A guy, that girl should go for, right?
yeah. A smart doctor. Yeah. Oh well, honest trailer.
And tomorrow, I'll date him. Sure.
Did you see the honest trailers? He had so many funny. I put it in the description. He had so many funny quotes. He's like the 80s proved that the difference between a good bad movie and a bad movie is Patrick Swayze. And then he said something about like like Dalton's philosophy, like if you were a smart guy back in the 80s, it means you like you went to college and you read maybe you went to college and you read a book or two, so like the fact that this doctor would fall for this bouncer meathead.
And when she goes to meet him for the first time, like she goes unexpectedly goes up, like there was a fight this broke out, and she shows up wearing an Italian tablecloth as a dress. It's the red or white. I'm like, that's every pizza shop table.
How it goes attention.
Yeah. That's the most 80s, 90s print pattern there ever was. But,
like I told you, every minute of that film, something's crazy. Like even like left boot, like Razor Blade. Like, what if you did kick someone and kill him? Like, there's a million. Like, that's it. You're just gonna go back in your truck and leave.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say that. So when that guy throws that awkward kick at him, you know what I mean, and he catches it and drags him out by the leg, and what he throws is like that. It's like the close up of this. Like no fight has ever played out like that in the history of bar fights. Laura and I have both seen many, and just the whole sequence of them, and then they take it out. Of course, they take it out front. Dalton's golden rule: take it outside. So yeah, that fight is hilarious. He does. The Swayze kicks are, on overdrive throughout most.
That was bad. Like especially after he kills Jimmy, it's like a back spinning tap to his butt. It's like a tap. It's like a little push into his butt. Like you should just let him drop. That's all you had to do was let him drop. It crashed the water, and it was
slow-mo. That's the blood sport. Like me and Gaz were saying, when they bring back those spin kicks 50 times in the slow-mo.
Scene too, which I think all three of us know, and some of the audience, like that's where Swayze broke a rib because him and Jimmy said, let's go hard. But that stopped him from doing Predator Part 2, which I always wondered, you always envisioned how it would have been. With him out, Danny Glover out, and Swayze in.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know they considered Swayze for that.
That's he had it locked, but
wow.
He needed the rest.
Yeah.
Him and Jimmy, said, let's not cheat one frame. Like not direct punches in the face, of course, because that. Yeah. But
body shots.
Bring it. Like let's let's do this. And he got broke. I think it's actually the stick or like the oar or something, whatever that is. Actually, what broke the rib, and he had to drop out.
Damn, which is screwed because as I was telling Philbin, Lauren, I'm sure you saw he broke his ribs in Point Break too from bouncing on the surfboard. Because he had that upper body, inflated upper body chest.
No, that's new to me.
Right. If you watch the Point Break bonuses, Swayze talks about it. It's like, so ultimately they designed him like a padded suit. That way he wasn't like bouncing on his chest. I mean, that he had mad injuries in that movie. Obviously, you guys can go see the me and Gaz's review and the Philbin interview. Shout out to Lauren for hooking that up. But yeah, no, the Jimmy fight is crazy. Obviously, it establishes his martial arts when Wesley pulls up to the double deuce with his goons, and he sends the awkward striptease scene with what's her name topless, and gives Swayze a kiss. Yeah. If you keep your pet on a leash or whatever, and that's when he calls in
Jimmy.
He calls in Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Jimmy's nonchalantly playing pool back there, and then he just he takes out the whole security force with the pool stick.
You're not even. You're missing everything amazing. I told you every minute. Why were they allowed in the bar? Like they stopped them at the door. Like you know what's going on. They don't insult us. You just destroyed the car dealership.
Yep.
Go to the double deuce. Yeah, let them in. And even the part where the bartender looks at Swayze
and he lets him get the drink.
Give it to him. Like, what are you doing, you weirdo?
Oh my God, the Keith David cameo. I totally forgot Keith David was in this movie. Gaz knows how much I love Keith David. He's one of my favorite actors. The Thing, They Live, Riddick. He's a legend. Clockers, name it. Everything Keith David is ever in is genius. So when I saw him back there, I'm like, God, it's kind of stacked. Honestly, the roster's kind of stacked.
It was, like everyone was something, even everybody was somebody in that, and it's the movie. Like when I'm getting riled up, but it's usually one of two reasons I watch Roadhouse. Number one, I might be going through a little bluesy, like I need to flip around. So it's usually like that, like Grease 2 or like Footloose is something Purple Rain, something that like is gonna flip my mood to be smiling, or I'm on such a good streak. Like we're gonna keep
the energy going. Yeah, hell yeah, get the energy up, of course. Well, as Loren said, that last fight when Clay goes to the double deuce for the first time, he told them they couldn't come in, and they dragged him outside for the fight. Then the second one comes, they're all just walk right in. Doesn't make any sense
at all. Like you're at war. Like Wesley struck a million times, and they just defend. And it's like now you're gonna let him in here.
Yeah. It's like he like blew up Red's store, like took the monster truck over the car dealership. Just so many moments. But yeah, so that establishes so I guess a bit more of the fight. Garrett steps in, he takes on Jimmy, and Dalton jumps in so that Wesley cuts it off when it's the three-way Dalton and Garrett versus Jimmy battle.
This isn't working, Dalton.
yeah. Then he shoots off the pistol okay, he owns the sheriff. Okay, I get it, but like as Loren said, nobody responds to the gunshots in the venue.
Even the ending after they all kill Brad Wesley, like when the real cops show up and realize they're not going to make as much money, don't you think everybody's arrested? Like arrest everybody till we figure this shit out. And he collects the guns. Where did you take them? How far away could they be?
Dude, this is, and again, you can't recreate this. This is classic 80s. So.
What happens next? They're naked in scummy water.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like they're naked, swimming in the scummiest water.
Pond scum. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. This last watch, when they started undressing each other, I fast forwarded a bit because I've seen the film several times, so I knew it was gonna happen. But the rest of the what up, Jeff?
And then you're missing one of the greatest because we would on Movie Monday at the Trocadero. You voted in a movie like Roadhouse, and you just and rip it apart. And I just remember when he picks her up. And he brings it over to the chimney, all this stone. He starts like pumping her. You're just like, ow, my back, ow, my back. We're not like doing voice commentary. It was like the best thing ever. And like the way he's walking her down, like you're not getting out of here until I get what I want. That's the way it looks like.
Yeah. The most. I appreciate you, Jeff. The most uncomfortable sex scenes, even as Gaz said, the regular Saturday night.
I thought those would be up there for a moment. He's giving you flashbacks to Dirty Dancing. He used the same song in that scene as well.
I actually just rewatched that recently too.
Whenever we get together with Loren, it's just chaos.
By the way, I have one Dirty Dancing, like, what are you talking about moment. And for other than that, I think it's like across the board, like a movie. But the end of this, the final song, I had the time of my life. I'm like, 1957. There's no song like this. It's the 80s as it comes. I love that scene. I think it's like we got one enormous error here, and it's this song. But
since Loren brought up music, at the very end of the Honest trailer, and everybody, if you guys seen Roadhouse, go watch that Honest trailer on a Screen Rant, right? That's called, So he's like talking about the remake, and he's like, "Hey, what does Gyllenhaal do?" Blah blah blah. And he's like, "I bet he didn't record a track for the soundtrack," and it showed Swayze with the song he made for the soundtrack. And he's like, "No one."
Like The Wind.
He's like, "Yeah, that's right." He's like, "No one put Swayze in a corner."
Yeah.
Swayze went all the way in on the character, guys. Sorry, deal with it.
And anyone who knows this, you could go to Virginia to the actual Johnny Castle. Like that place is all there. Like that place really exists still to this day.
Badass.
Did you? I've seen. I mean, we've all seen this. The just before you get to the scummy water part, as you mentioned, when the cops show up, after Brad Wesley's being offed by all the guys, and they're asking like, "Did anyone see anything? Did anyone see anything?" And then there's the dude who just says, "Polar bear, follow me." That's just
they
just shot him. I looked.
Yeah, they definitely had that frame in the Honest trailer for sure.
I always wondered too, like I guess the stunt didn't go well, but like Terry Funk was just unconscious. Like you didn't see what happened to him.
Yeah.
That's Terry Funk. Couldn't you have, between the two of them, they came up with something a little more like that's
what needs to slid out.
We're talking about right after, it's either right before or right after He hit him and Ric Flair in the I Quit match. So like Terry Funk's hot, like between this and Over the Top. Like you can use him.
Yeah.
But you gotta admit, Morgan's character, that was just Terry Funk in the movie. It was like, that's just Terry Funk.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Terry Funk as himself. I definitely need to rewatch Over the Top, man. I haven't seen that in years. I don't know about you guys.
The same. We could add it. Quick, do you want us to cover it, folks? We can. If you want us to cover Over the Top, we will do.
Yeah. How 80s do you guys want us to go? Because Loren's he's our resident horror expert, but he's also one of our resident 80s experts. So let's see. I guess I missed this. Dalton refuses and Wesley uses his connections to prevent the Double Deuce from purchasing alcohol. Dalton uses his own connections to secure some supplies. I don't know when that happened.
The part where this the whole thing when Wade Garrett shows up and helps him.
Yeah,
that's the part. Yeah, because I guess he had the Wesley's wherever he got the alcohol. He had full control of the state. So without alcohol, they did that in Yellowstone.
Yeah,
they did it in one of the seasons of like, you're going to open up. Oh, you're going to open up a casino. Yeah, you're not getting no alcohol in the state. Like, so.
For sure.
Swayze made a call and got it from out of state.
Okay, so that's what. Yeah, that was the.
Stop it! They were just like, yo, you're not unloading that. You're going out of business. By the way, this is all previous to Brad Wesley going in and shooting a gun in the bar. Like,
yeah,
that was the whole dickless fight we were discussing.
I forgot that guy's name. He was a wrestler too.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah,
he's a Southern wrestler.
So the big fight, we talked about that. Jimmy Reno, we talked about that. So we're pretty. What else? What else is left here after sabotage the businesses? I remember that. So I think it pretty soon. That the Emmett fire. So that's what I was talking about, and another live action, seemingly practical fire.
The thing, but the Emmett fire. Why are you blowing up Emmett's house? Blow up the barn where Dalton is.
I thought,
and that house explosion. How did Emmett not die? Yeah. It's like he's in a Santa Claus outfit. By the way, he looked put him in a red outfit.
Yeah, he was like sleeping in bed, and he just stayed there during the fire. Like,
I don't know. Like,
maybe rolled over in the right direction and avoided it.
Gigantic explosion, and he's like not burned in any way. No blisters, just. And his Santa Claus outfit's not even on fire. Anyway.
And his line's awesome as well. When Swayze says, "Are you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, if you would get off my chest a moment," something like that.
Yeah, like, you okay? I will be if you get off me. His house blew up. That's he's taking joke.
So many homoerotic lines, especially like when Dalton is doing the Tai Chi katas, and it shows like Emmett, and he's like watching his sweaty chest in the sun, and he like brushes his hairs back, like woo, like Honest Trailers obviously went in on that, you know what I mean? Which that's fodder.
You would think when he did the Tai Chi, Emmett may have like rode up to him on a horse, like, "Yo, okay, get out of here. Here's your $100 back."
Can't have this around my farm, man. We're Christians around here. If you're gonna do your karate, at least put a shirt on, right?
Yeah.
So that's Dalton runs down. I did catch this, so I have to watch everything after this.
I told you every minute this really happened. So they send right before the scene where he goes to Wesley's house, which is across the pond. Yeah. Tinker and O'Reilly come over to tell Dalton, Mr. Wesley would like to speak with you. Dalton is on his car.
Yeah.
Meaning, like who does that? Hey, it's a nice day. I'm going to sit on my car and look up the sky.
In the Kansas summer, when it's probably 90 down there, he has the khaki jacket off. By the way, that's the first time I've seen a khaki jacket, and he has long sleeve khaki pants and dress shoes.
He's just hanging out on top of his car, like, dude, like sit in a lounge chair, like.
Isn't this his off day? Why is he dressed like that? Business casual on a bouncer on his off day. Like, I love his, like, he drives the BMW. He's got like the fake business casual dress. You know what I mean?
know it too. It's like the whole part where the next part where he says, "What's it going to take for me to buy you out and buy a place?" He goes, "No amount,
no money."
Like, wouldn't that be the best time to kill Dalton?
To jump him with all your
goons in the house, and, like no one ever sees him again.
No witnesses. No.
And did he walk? Or did Tinker and them drive him back? Like,
they didn't explain that. No. We're not hating. We love Swayze.
It's so great.
And also, Tinker and those guys, Loren, when they walked him in, they were wearing their aviators inside the house. Like, what's that? Is that an 80s thing, or you see a lot of guys wearing aviators inside the house? Like
a lot of like continuity, or like they weren't like, all right, wait, you want to shoot what scene here? Okay, so you want this to happen? Why don't we try this? Like,
we're gonna splice it in here,
I was just happy. Because this is the time, because I didn't really get into Roadhouse till about 15 years later. Because to me, Swayze around this time, because I'm older than all you guys, he was, the Pascal guy at this point. Like, I'm sick of seeing your face. I'm sick of hearing every girl talk about you. And you dirty dancing and ghosts. Like this guy's weak. Get him out. So like when this came out, I'm like, no.
But I've got a quick.
Long time. They kind of like the way Nick Cage bopped out, and then everybody see him again. That's when I got on, and one day I was like, I'll check the Roadhouse now, and now, oh my gosh, this is my eyes were
life. Go ahead, guys.
I was going to say one thing I've always wondered, and perhaps you can answer this for us, Loren, is I know I dropped in one of his. As far as I know, there might have been some earlier movies before this. Uncommon Valor that he did with Gene Hackman.
I need to watch that.
And of course, there's Roadhouse here, where he's showing his martial arts skills.
The first movie was Skate Town, USA. If you guys
right,
I have it on the trailer on my page, but
I'll check that out.
That's it's your favorite. It's kind of a musical, buddy. But
there you go, guys. You got Loren. You can have guys over to watch Grease too.
Yeah, right. But that was like the gem. It's like you have Scott Baio, Marsha Brady, you have Rorschach, you have everybody that was like the 70s and early 80s, but along came this dude that just owned it, and they were just like, this movie sucks, but let's pluck him. And so I think he did one more film before The Outsiders hit, and launched all 6 or 7 of those actors.
I need to run Outsiders.
This is what I was going to ask you is, obviously he's famous for Dirty Dancing and Ghost as well, the more romantic kind of side of things. And I know he did do some indie action movies like in his later career. Did those romantic movies get him a bit typecasted in that area? Because
that's why he did this, and then he also signed on for Predator 2 right after this, because he realized his male audience turned on her. Like, you're doing a dancing movie, like, really? Right. And a love story, like when you Dirty Dancing, I love, but when it came out when I'm 10 years old, dancing, like, no, Ghost is a beautiful love story, but when I'm 11, I don't care.
Yeah. Because I was just
whoever that was, let them know Tulsa's awesome, and I've been to the Curtis Brothers house, which
nice. I would have just liked to have seen him use those martial arts skills in some other movies.
Yeah.
After I'd say Point Break, I'm trying to think, he had one more kind of a movie that was good, and then it just went. I think what happened was kind of the decade virus of this, like we've seen enough of you.
Yeah.
It was also one of the greatest movies that's overlooked, Youngblood.
Donnie Darko.
No, but Youngblood too. Donnie Darko was sort of his like Nick Cage comeback. It was like, all right, let's get him. But he was in Youngblood, which is a hockky movie about a minor league hockey team of Rob.
I'm gonna check that out.
And Keanu Reeves was the goalie. Keanu Reeves was basically Ted. He was Ted, Bill and Ted before Bill and Ted. Yeah.
Oh man, I'll have to check that out.
Are you watching Tulsa King?
It's it's about a cow. That's an over the top, like
nice.
The evil '80s coach, but win by any means necessary sort of stuff going on. But Swayze was great in it. Yeah, he could ice skate and everything. That dude was he was a jack of all trades, and
super athlete.
His mother was a huge dancer, so that's why he had that all down. And I think they said like he was a chain smoker, and I think he thought the dancing would offset, but you got that's one of the worst cancers you could get.
Yeah, unfortunately, when I saw him ripping those butts in Roadhouse, I know it was a trend at the time, but that was not good.
Look at it, the outside. Look at almost everything. Even if the character wasn't written to smoke, he would ask, like, could we make him? Like Johnny Castle smoking the whole time while he's dancing too. You're just like, it's like.
Did you have something else, guys?
No. That was it. Was something I was wondered in there. Yeah, excellent.
I gotta ask, Loren. I know you're a hardcore horror grindhouse guy. Have you seen Trailer Park Boys from Canada? So there's this huge jacked dude named Julian. It's a comedy. It's like the answer to Cops, but like a totally like a bit like Reno 911, like an improv comedy show. They live on a trailer park. One of the characters' name's Julian. He's this jacked Canadian guy, and they call him. There's a running joke that they found a VHS of Dirty Dancing in his belongings back in the day, so they keep calling him like Patrick Swayze and Dirty Dancer because they said, yeah, that's Swayze, and he gets like wicked pissed. He's like, guys, and then they open a bar in the trailer park. They make one of the trailers a bar, and they call it the Dirty Dancer. And they're like, hey, Julian, look what we made. The dirty. He's like, Bubbles, are you kidding me? You called it the Dirty Dancer? Anyway, it's just
Swayze was supposed to be Johnny Utah. Like the studio wanted him as Johnny Utah first, and he was like, I think I'm drawn to being the surfer bad guy and all that. Ross, just give me a heads up. I got don't give me 5 minutes, like five more minutes. I got to roll.
Yeah, no doubt. Do you want to drop your rating now, Loren, or do you want to do it before you roll?
All right, so
we rate him out of 10.
Okay, all right. I gotta give it 2 ratings then. All right,
style.
Okay.
It's a 10 because of how ridiculously over the top and stupid it is.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to take the fandom away and break the movie down, it's like a 2. Like it is what it is.
2, like, good Loren and evil Loren.
Yeah. like I don't think this is going to be an American movie classics. Like I think honestly, 50 years from now, nobody when our generation's gone or 60 years, no one's gonna look like, oh my god! Like I don't think they'll get the jokes or none of it. They're just gonna be like, garbage just once.
Okay, so going back to non-woke dialogue, because we tend to highlight that here on Paradigm Review Show. Wesley's line in the bar referring to, I think we talked about the store guy, Red. He called him a draft dodging F word. Yeah, you won't be seeing that appear in many new movies these days. So yeah. Definitely some 80s non-woke dialogue. Oh, I've got Fire Pixie reporting in 11 out of 10, but she probably noticed some things about Patrick's ass during that bear bun scene. Anyway.
He had a rival Kelly Lynch's ass because he got to show his ass twice. I think he was at the top Kelly Lynch.
He had to outdo her. Swayze was like, oh no, we're gonna get way more of me.
Give him a real shot from behind.
Yeah, my male fans are gonna go crazy for this. I wonder why they turned on me. Anything else you want to add, Loren?
Maybe when it's Van Damme,
movie. Even your audience now. I hope they're understanding. Like even the jokes we're making. Like we love this movie. I love this movie. So it's amazing. I'm wearing a Brad Wesley shirt. Okay, like I can't get any better than that. So it's great, and long live Swayze. I always tell you also between Outsiders and Red Dawn, like Ghost. Young. I just said. I think I might have said Youngblood already, but Skate Town USA. Swayze's in like 8 to 10 freaking films that I just love from the 80s, and he's immortal to me. Forever. Like you say, the actors that I followed in my lifetime, he's in the top 12.
Yeah. I mean, I have my Bodie mask over there next to the bed. I was obviously showing it to Philbin. I'd like to say that I'm, got to be at least top 3 Point Break fanboys on YouTube. I don't want to say I'm number 1, but I'm up there. You know what I mean? So Bodie is my favorite character. Of course, I mean, you can't mess with Dalton though, because the Tai Chi, Kung Fu kicks are different. Any other updates from Average Superstar? Maybe Loren Lepre would like to drop a Camera X exclusive to PXF.
Ross, we're so close to having our film in distro. I was hoping to have the say this today, but I'm still waiting another because it's like the weekend and you got to watch. But I think I believe we found our home, so we'll do we'll if we do, I'll get back on the podcast and give more details.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Boys, this was awesome. So,
always, bro.
Appreciate you, Barabbas.
Enjoy the rest of the show. Everybody hit subscribe and check out, support Ross. And anybody who wants to check out me, subscribe to Average Superstar TV. And you guys have a good night, all right?
You too, man. Get back on here with us soon, man. Just hit us up if there's anything you want to do with us.
Hells yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Have a good night.
All right, you take care. Have a good one, man.
Yep.
Drop him. Now it's just back to me. And there was one thing. I did see a comment from Average Superstar, guys. Somebody may have called you the British Joe Biden on some comments on a past. It was Loren.
British Joe Biden.
Yeah.
That's average.
How to take that? That's Average Superstar TV political commentary, man. You should.
Not sure how to take that, but that's not
it was obviously just him trolling us. I thought it was hilarious.
I was going to say, it was like, I'll have to work on getting the character right, the impression. Maybe start stuttering the sentences more.
Give me a break, man. Hey, we're having a good time here on Paradigm Review Show. Come on. Well, I suppose it's better than being a British Trump, right? Which is kind of.
Man, you know me with politics, bro. I have no time for any of them.
Checked out. Seven. I technically rated it a 6, but I don't know. Who knows what my mind state was when I put that rating into IMDb. So I'm up there. I'm at least a 7.5, maybe 8. Let's go. So the only thing I didn't get to watch, Gaz, was the very ending after he kills Jimmy. He does the classic death grip, rips his throat out. Yeah. This is back to the, they foreshadowed it at the beginning, like, that's Dalton. I heard he ripped a guy's throat out in Memphis. Oh man, too bad he had to go, because what I was gonna tell him was how Garrett checked Dalton about the PTSD from killing the guy in Memphis that pulled the gun on him. I was going to tell him what they did in the remake, which me and you obviously discussed in our remake review, which is Dalton, who is Gyllenhaal, killed the guy in the UFC ring. And like, honestly, dude, that's not as like effective as like Dalton and Swayze Dalton got a gun pulled on him and ripped the guy's throat out to save himself, as opposed to the ref called time on you in a UFC ring and you just kept punching and killed your opponent. You know what I mean? And yet, so I didn't feel like, you can tell me your reaction, but Dalton's PTSD wasn't as justified in the remake as it was in the original, right? Like, that's kind of how I feel. Like, you're a professional fighter. The ref tells you stop, or the ref pulls. Like, that's not even realistic. The ref pulls you off, right? Like, that's what happens. So.
Well, yeah, and in professional fighters, you are much more in control of yourself, more self-discipline, and control your emotions and everything. We watch UFC all the time. Perfect segue for me to say I'll be watching it tonight. Montreal.
At least the last 2 fights, BKFC too.
Yeah, totally. So, yeah, that's a very valid analogy, and 100 with you.
That's what I wanted to tell him, because the way they dragged the trope out in the original, like, it worked, and then you're thinking like, okay, like, you were a UFC fighter that killed your opponent after the bell. Why didn't the ref stop you? Dude, you ever seen how many security got when Conor fought Habib? You noticed they had those like 5 massive security guys between them so they wouldn't swing on each other until the bells rang. Where was the octagon security? They stand right outside the octagon. Obviously, if a fighter was doing that to a guy that was down, the ref would get in the middle and then the security would come and intervene. But anyway, since Loren pointed out all those Roadhouse plot holes, I might as well point out the remake ones. Pixie gifted a membership. Mark Winter was gifted a membership. What up, Mark?
So do you want to do our ratings and then get into some kind of fun facts? There is I forgot to ask Loren this whilst he was here. There is a slight true crime connection with this.
Interesting. Well, you can definitely follow that. I mean, I basically said, I said what mine was. You could do yours. Let's just see if we missed anything. And of course, like the payphone calls, back and forth. You're like we said with Point Break and Falling Down, all the 90s, 80s, 90s movies. You're obviously not going to see the payphone scenes anymore. Red Webster, he called him a draft dodging F word. That was Wesley. So I think I pretty much saw we talked about that part. And the enraged Dalton. Oh yeah, Loren cut me off with the plot holes, but Jimmy was getting away on the motorcycle, and Dalton, he ran.
And then he jumped. Yeah.
You would have think Loren would have had a problem with that. A guy taking off on a high speed.
The way he ran, and then he just like
T1000 run.
I forgot to see. When Swayze's laying on the car, and the big guy who the polar bear falls on near the end, and the guy is it O'Brien? Brian, I think it was, either henchman. And I like it when Swayze just sat up, and they both kind of went into this stance, like Stan Bush style, as you would say, about sing a song, to beat him with that or something. And that was a comical moment. There was. I think that's one of the charms of the movie as well, because there's so many over exaggerated, over the top moments, purposely over the top dialogue. And it's just funny. It's just funny and entertaining.
Oh, yeah, dude, again, I need to... All right, screw it. I'm going to look it up right now. I know Rowdy Harrington was the director. Like, Honest Trailer made a joke, like a film that's so crazy that the director's name is Rowdy. R. Lance Hill and Mary Henkin are the writers. I've not heard of either of them. I'm just wondering, like, what else they may have done. They got the looks like Roadhouse Last Call, but it looks like the remake. So I guess it was the same writer that did that. Out for Justice. That's our boy.
Steven Seagal.
Yep. 8 Million Ways to Die. Who the hell is that? Is it? Looks like it's Jeff Bridges. Huh. That could be all right. I'll throw that on my list. Haven't heard of that one. 86.
Yeah.
The Evil That Men Do. That's Bronson. I do have that on my list. Whoops, I just added Roadhouse again. And then the other, so I mean, so he's got a couple things in there that looks pretty dope. I wonder, let's check the other one, Hillary Henkin, see what she did. Just wondering what, I guess they're both credited. Wag the Dog, I didn't watch that, 97. Romeo is Bleeding, Fatal Beauty, Blue, it's like a bunch of 80s movies. So yeah, I don't know, a couple random writers.
I'm just looking at some random facts on the cast as well. The actor that played Brad Weasley, who is called Ben Gazzara, who is from New York, rest in peace. I'm just seeing if I've read this correct, folks, because this is how I can say it, VX. Ross. There we go. There's a Biden example. I've been doing some Bidens. Thought Guns N' Roses covered the track. Apparently they didn't. Now I'm thinking, did Ben Gazzara appear in OG Battlestar Galactica as the human villain collaborator with the Cylons? That's what I'm trying to find out now.
Well, sometimes your gas isn't panned out. Let's see if you can go 1 for 3.
Yeah, let's see if we can. Or it's also,
or else you are a British Biden.
Yeah. That's the most random. I mean,
it came from Average Superstar TV. It's kind of what we've came to expect from Loren. Like, he's clearly not.
He owes me that. He owes me that after the things I've said on that scene. And it's a Saturday night thing for years. And
100%. Yeah, he's got to fire back on you. Yeah, it's a Saturday night thing.
Man. Yeah,
it's
Good. Oh, it's all right, man. Go on. I'm Stephen. Let's see if this is right, folks.
The ECW cameo, what's it? New Jack or it's New Jack? In Saturday night thing. Saturday. It's a Saturday night live. I don't know. Night at the Ross.
Is anybody? I'll put this to the chat. Actually, I'm trying to. Oh, hang on. So the classic Battlestar Galactica. That's what I'm.
Battlestars. Oh, you look that up. Let me finish the plot here. Later, Wesley contacts Dalton, threatening to kill either Elizabeth or Garrett. A badly beaten Garrett arrives at the Double Deuce, while Dalton leaves to check on Elizabeth, who is safe but unwilling to leave with him. Dalton returns to the bar to find Garrett murdered. Distraught, Dalton storms Wesley estate, kills most of his henchmen, and defeats Wesley, but relents from killing Wesley himself. That's how they tried it. Like, the remake, like when he went on that rampage, like they obviously tried to like recreate that. Elizabeth arrives and reconciles with Dalton, but Wesley recovers and attempts to shoot him before being shot dead by the locals, including Emmett and Red. The police arrive, but all present claim they saw nothing. Sometime later, the modernized and refined double-deuce bustles with customers while Dalton and Elizabeth swim together in a lake. And did you find what you're looking for, Gazzy?
I'm still trying to find the details on this. I'm not getting, not having much luck actually, y'all. If we can't find it, never mind. But I'm sure, just seem to, when you see things being repeated on TV at times, and you recognize a face, and I'm sure that's the dude. So no, but I will say this. And perhaps, look, my disclaimer is I'm not the true crime guy over at PXM, but
me neither.
Apparently, there's a rumor, and we'd have to do more research in this, that the '89 film Roadhouse is loosely inspired by a real-life incident involving a local bully named Ken McElroy, who was murdered unalived in broad daylight in Missouri.
Interesting.
Screenwriter David Lee Henry visited a bar in a small town, which served as partial inspiration for the film's script. Blah 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 blah.
Badass. That's crazy. I didn't know anything about that.
So that's something maybe we could, if Loren was still with us, I'm sure Loren would know all about this and be able.
It looks like Pixie was lived in Tulsa. She said it happened in Skidmore, Missouri, so she probably knows something about that.
Right.
What the hell was I gonna say? I'm gonna flick my AC on, guys. It's 84. I don't know how loud it's gonna be.
Yeah, no problem. Just want to send a shout out to you all. Thanks for coming through as always. Just before ratings and things, I'm just seeing I can find us some more fun facts for everybody.
Yeah, Gazzy can drop his rating when he's ready. Trying to think of probably. We have next week off, guys. I'm out of state filming, but when we come back, we're going to do Top Gun 1 for Val. Rest in peace. I'm going to hit up Gunner and see if he wants to join us for that as an ex-retired Navy gunman.
That'll be nice.
Yeah. So I think it's always funny when people try to argue with me, guys, that Maverick is not in the Navy because he flies a jet. And they just don't know how the military, you know what I mean? He flies he's a jet fighter. He's a fighter pilot, isn't he? In the Air Force? No, he's not. He's in the Navy.
Yeah. Well, and people have that misconception as well, because they'll be like, oh, there's not like the aerial division of the Army as well. Army helicopters.
Yeah, each one of them essentially has their own Air Force, and obviously, if you what an aircraft carrier is, you see a bunch of fighter jets on it. Those are boats controlled by the Navy, but we'll definitely get that straightened with Bry if he's down. And then I am supposed to have Dion Walker back, guys, but I have a script read for a role I just took after the Top Gun show, so we might have to reschedule his show. But it's a 3-day weekend that weekend, so maybe Friday or Sunday if Dion can.
We'll do a little walk through the UFC card for you as well, folks, at the end. So I guess ratings, I'm going to kind of do what Loren did. I'll look at it from two angles. First one, I think, is for the entertainment factor. If you've never seen this movie ever before, it's something not to be taken seriously. It's highly entertaining. The lines are hilarious, and it's fun. It really is. So on that side, I'm probably about a 7, maybe 7.5.
Yeah, that's
as on it being the actual film. Wow, I think usually I'm the most miserable one on here, but Loren's rated it lower than me.
He's a purist.
Yeah, on the filmmaking side, from it being a film, I suppose 4 or 5. But I can't go too hard on it because it entertains me. It makes me laugh. I enjoy it. It's got kind of a warmness about it. You have to take it for what it is. So probably 7 overall, 7.5.
Yeah, I'd set a 7 or 8. I mean, hilarious dialogue. I mean, entertaining fight scenes. Obviously, like brutal violence, like the fight. How Dalton dispatches Jimmy at the end is crazy. Obviously, Wesley's fate. So I mean, it's campy. It has some funny, fight and violence gags, but it does really have some brutal fights. Which they could have used more of that grindhouse violence for the remake. If like, hey, like, you know, if this is what you're going to do, you go hard R, and then you show the brutal violence. And they just, I guess, because it was Amazon, I don't know, they just weren't able to double down on that.
There's one thing I did notice, Ross, and I'm not, and it probably wasn't intentional, but Wade's fight with Jimmy in the bar, you know, when Jimmy does the I'll guess the freelance demonstration with the stinky Q, and he fights Wade does a leg check on one of his kicks. When there's a kick coming in, there's a leg check, probably unintentional.
Yeah, on one of them, but I think like what dropped him was the fact that he wasn't continually checking the kicks, because you can't just stand there in a fight and take leg damage from someone. So that's why he went down. But yeah, I was looking for that too. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, he's not checking those kicks. That's why he got smoked. Yeah,
it was interesting to see though. Just for instance, that one come out, I thought, like back then, and you saw
absolutely, yeah. I mean, basically the early days of MMA, but not much else, guys. Whack Count and Pooh. Gaz has to see Striking Rescue, and we'll get that in. We do have Invasion for You coming back next month, Pixie. So it's looking like Top Gun the 24th and Conan the Barbarian the 31st. And in between there, I'll have Dion Walker back for part 2 of his Z-Files interview. But go ahead.
I was going to say, I did see the Turd Surfer.
That's right.
Which I'll just say has a very, I haven't read if it was intentional, but I could see in the film there's a very loose connection to Point Break, very loose, but it's that was a very strange experience to sit through.
Yeah, I mean, it has high ratings, so I wonder why people are raving about it as such. Like, I'm gonna take a look right now because I do like our boy Cage.
Oh, he's awesome as always. Incredible.
So psychological thriller and thriller. I mean, that's kind of a loose description of the genres. So it's another one of those. Yeah, Pixie. Don't even start. We're gonna get it done. I can give you, I don't know if we have everything scheduled for June. So Greg said he's down for Game of Death, guys, so we can get him on for that first weekend of June.
Showdown in Little Tokyo with Greg as well.
I told him that you guys were both talking about that. So probably how it's looking is Game of Death for a few dollars more. Then it's my birthday, so I'm chilling. I'm actually going to Wu-Tang. Nice. Then we have Invasion USA, so that's next month.
Sick.
Other than that, guys, I think we're pretty much out. We're going to be off next week. We're actually going to do this next week for the Roadhouse anniversary. So RIP Swayze. But we had to move it up because I'm going to be filming. I can't say what I'm filming, but the trailer for my project's supposed to drop next month, so we'll announce it under post when I share the trailer. And I also just scored my first feature role, so we're not going to announce that yet until there's more promos and things to actually, go somewhere with it. So
do you want to do a very quick run through an UFC card for tonight?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not, I'll be real with you guys. I don't, I'm not, I love GSP, but as far as these Canadian fighters, I'm not quite as versed in them as I am in the American fighters. But top of the card, I'll just do the top guys if you want to do the other ones. Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Medellina. I mean, I was going for Bilal when he got the title, obviously for Palestine, but he's a super boring fighter, has 0 knockdowns in his career. So I don't know. This could be a tough challenge for him, guys. Jack might get on him in some of these rounds if Bilal doesn't just do as usual. Shevchenko for the Bullet versus Manon Fiorot. I'm a Shevchenko fanboy, so I'm going for her. And
I've got a sneaky feeling maybe Manon. We'll see. She's quite dangerous.
For the upset, I mean, that's how you make money, betting on the underdog.
Fight. That is going to be an interesting
Peace,
fight.
Dark Side. Thanks for coming through.
Peace, Dark Side. Thanks, man.
Wu-Tang's for the kids. Aldo, man, I'm sick of Aldo. I just don't care about him, guys. I mean, he's a legend, of course, but I don't know. I'd rather see him box. For him to be still fighting MMA at this stage in his career. So I don't know anything about Zahabi, but maybe Aldo will get rocked. Who knows? Or have a boring decision. Yeah. I don't mind Grasso, but her versus Silva, I'm not invested in that fight at all.
Yeah.
I rock with Benoit Saint Denis. He's former French, spec ops. But hopefully he bounces back. I mean, Poirier sat him down with that knockout. And then Burns versus Morales got canceled off, which is annoying.
Yeah, that's so sad.
Always annoying when that happens. Burns is my guy. So I don't know. Anyway, I mean, I want to watch those last two. I'll be real with you guys. I'm not that crazy about this card. I mean, Dana every weekend has been mid. You know. Let me check. What's going on in BKFC's channel. I don't. So I think it's Salt Lake City, or it's what? Where is this tonight? May 10th, Salt Lake City. So I think it starts at 7 Mountain Time, but I don't know anything about that part of the country, so I have no idea what Mountain Time is. So I'm on West Coast time. I don't know when that BKFC starts.
Colorado is Mountain Time, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Every Utah, Colorado, and I think Montana maybe as well. You can subscribe to Mosh Shinobi over there. Drop your Roadhouse ratings in the chat. Anything else you guys want us to address, or any questions before we get out of here? Because it's looking like Gaz and I are about to jet in 1 second here. But
yes, more Joe Biden content coming soon. I'll be sure to get that up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if we have any more 80s classics that we need Loren to poke the plot holes through, we'll definitely have him back up. Probably horror. So me and Average Superstar TV, me, Loren, and Dave do the current events and some of the new film TV projects that we review over there. Dave's got a channel called Halloween Year Round. Go check out his channel. He has a lot of cool stuff, mostly horror, but a lot of other like action grindhouse stuff, like the type of stuff me and Gaz cover. So we gave you guys the schedules. That's pretty much that. If you don't have any other final questions or comments, we're probably going to jet.
Right, we're just looking. Anything
And
from
I'm out of water, so I need to go to the store. And then I'll probably get set for. I guess it answers an interesting question. Maybe I'll ask Gemini or whatever the hell all these auto Googles of things. What? This will be a lesson for us all to learn, since I can't do time zones. Is 7 MT and Gaz is no help because he's in another country. 7 MT in PST. What? No, 7
MT would be
It said MST. It said MST. Is that what Mountain Standards? At 7 p.m. MT. 6 p.m. So like three more hours, I guess, for BKFC. Go subscribe to Bare Knuckles Championship on YouTube. They usually do the free undercard on YouTube, and then it'd be cool if UFC did their prelims on YouTube. But they got to try to squeeze the lemon for to make it out. Oh yeah, okay. So Patreon. I need to get back on the grind. I'm going to announce some things about when we do the canonicals of the main series of Zodiac Files, how you guys can get involved with crowdfunding. But in the meantime, click join for a membership, go over to the Patreon. Still have a few more things to do over there. I need to do the Red Circle review and Deadliest Prey. And I think those are basically the last things involving the Most Dangerous Game. And Avenging Force. So when Gaz and I do Avenging Force, those will basically be the last 3 on that. So then I'll have to take that in a new direction and kind of find other stuff that I can dig up. But you never know, because new things do pop up, like this Red Circle stuff. But seems to have died down in the chat. Thanks for rocking with us, guys. Roadhouse 1989. I tried to look where people could stream it, Gaz. I think you have to rent it on Amazon. I don't really think anyone has it like free streaming. So.
Yeah, it does get shown on TV quite a lot on some of the various movie channels.
For those of you that still have television cable.
Yeah, it's interesting because some of the classic movies that we've reviewed have been on TV a lot. The one we did, the Horror Express, that was on TV. If you're in the UK, that's gets shown on Legend quite a lot. More Zodiac stuff will be coming, Pixie.
Main series is coming back, Pixie. We're going to shoot it in about 4 weeks. Lake Herman Road, and you guys should be able to guess what comes after that, right? It's not exactly rocket science. So double shoot. I don't know how long it's going to take to edit those, Pixie, though. It might be a little while, but tell everybody to get involved. Click the join for a membership if you want to support the main series. I mean, just so you guys know, like, it's basically an 8-hour drive for me and my videographer, Gabe, to drive up to the Bay. It's basically going to cost us like $600 in our rooms for the weekend, and gas. I'll probably be in $700-800 on gas and rooms alone. That's not including pre-production, post-production costs. So, best way to get involved, guys, is subscribe to the Patreon or click here and join a membership here. And then if you want to email me or contact me on X about, we're going to add the supporters' names in, the crowdfunders, whatever you want to call them, until I come up with a cooler name. to the credits of the canonical episodes, which would be 5, 6, 7, and 8. And so as far as Zodiac stuff, Dion will come back for part 2 of his Zodiac Files interview. Michael Cole has already reached out, ZodiacRevisited.com, so I'll get him scheduled at some point for this summer. Arguably one of the better authors in the space, arguably the best. And yeah, that's all I've scheduled right now. Dion, Mike, and then we're going to shoot episode 5 and episode 6. Episode 7, Lake Berryessa, guys. Like, I've never even been to Napa before. That's probably a 9 or 10 hour drive from here minimum. So you're probably looking at next September for that, to be honest with you. But we'll do what we always do and try to make it the best episode. So let's start with the Vallejo Benicia stuff and move on from there. You know? Yeah.
As always, folks, as I say on every episode, we are working on many things behind the scenes across multiple areas. Myself and Ross have recently discovered there's a June Awakening, the game, isn't it?
Yep.
That's coming, so perhaps Ross and myself at some point, or Ross could look at doing episodes of that and seeing how that kind of if it's accurate to the lore, to the novels, to the movies, do some comparisons like that. There's so much. We're bouncing back ideas all the time. Yeah,
it's open beta weekend. So if you have Steam, you can go and opt in, but you have to wait for them to give you access because they're doing it in tranches, which makes sense for a stress test. They don't want to overload their servers. There is the Sisterhood series, guys, the Dune series, which is I think it's a prequel to the new movie. So neither of us have watched that either. If you guys want us to review that, tap in. Looks like a couple of people just tuned in, which is cool. But I think we're going to jet, guys. So any final questions for me, put them in the chat. As always, if you miss us when we're live or you're trying to get ahead of me, it's not a secret. My email's on the channel. And just leave a comment. Leave us a comment in the comment sections. Suggestions, anything else you want to do?
Big C. Sorry, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. You just made me
I mean, you can blame that on Loren. That was a him thing. Go back in the comments. That had nothing to do with us. PXF takes no responsibility for average superstar TV content and commenting. What was I saying there? Oh yeah, so movies, TV, games, whatever. Of course, there's the Twitch. I haven't been too active on it, but I'm thinking about getting back on there. Some new Payday stuff dropping. There's the new Doom. Diablo has the Sword of the Berserk crossover right now. So yeah, we haven't done much PXG gaming stuff, but there's still a lot of stuff going on. We're still waiting for Toxic Crusaders, sadly. The Toxic Avenger remake movie will drop. You must be tuning in late when we did you catch us when we just did these? I mean, I don't, like I said, I respected Bilal when he got the title. I really don't care about him as a defending champion. So I'll probably take Jack tonight for the upset. I'm going Shevchenko. I don't care about Aldo's fight. Don't care about that one, and maybe Benoit. But again, this is like not my craziest fight. So appreciate you, Jeff. If there's anything else you want us to cover, let us know. Feel free to join a membership or hit me on Patreon. If you want credit in the episode 5 and 6 of the main series, Jeff, just hit me up and I'll get you guys. I'm gonna list off all those other channels, guys, where they list off their supporters' names. And again, if you hit me up and you don't want your real name or you want a nickname or your last initial, or even if you just want somebody else shouted, like if you're a crowd supporter and you want you got a friend's business or a website or a company, whatever else, whatever you hit me up, whatever you want credited, it's whatever you want. It doesn't have to be your name. So I was going to announce that on the Dion interview, which I will still do. But if you're that tapped in PXF that you watch me, Gaz, and Lauren's movie reviews, then you're pretty deep in. So all right, guys, I think we're out. Shout out to everybody who came through: Jeff, Beckham, Pixie, Darkside. Just might have been some other people I missed in the chat, but I think that was everybody. No Slippy today. Maybe he's not a Swayze guy, or he's busy, or he's just not a Roadhouse guy. It's all good. Shout out to regular supporters, and tune in, not next week, but the week. Wait, did I?
You did.
I think I posted the schedule. Did I?
Yeah. If maybe I think next is Top Gun 1, and then Conan. Next week, no show. Because Ross is busy
June, doing Game of Death for a few dollars more. My birthday, Conan the Barbarian. And man, you guys are going to see my Conan fanboyism hit its
it's going to be through the roof, man. It really is.
It's going to be final form. It's classic. All right, guys, we're out. Click join for a membership. Like, sub, share. You can join Gaz on subscribe to Gaz on Mosh Shinobi. And oh yeah, I hope you don't mind, guys. I think I did dual stream this to Mosh Shinobi because
all right. Well, it's got a martial arts connection,
right?
So
that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Dalton Swayze's Tai Chi. Yeah. And yeah, get me on Patreon. You can join free with your Gmail. All right, guys, we're out. Roadhouse 1989. Shout out to Loren Lepre. Tap in with him at Average Superstar TV channel and his website. Get him on socials. Camera X coming soon. That's official PXF branded short film. I'll announce my my feature role in the coming weeks. What were you going to say, guys?
Can I just ask you this real quick? So we go. So next time we're doing sparring, if somebody comes out with the line that Jimmy uses when he fought Patrick Swayze about what he used to do in prison.
Yes, we did.
Is that going to encourage you to keep sparring with that said person and think maybe I'm going to
take the gloves off and go bare knuckle for that spar because I don't want a guy to F guys like me in prison, which I was for sure that line would come up with when Loren was pointing out the plot holes, but he got us so deep into plot holes. Yeah, that was that supposed to be intimidating or was that just some 80s stuff? Like I think that's a good note.
Yeah,
for
it
us
was
to
so
go
random
off.
as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Like, yeah, okay. Like, and then you saw where that got Dalton death grip. Yeah, I heard he ripped a guy's throat out one time. It's like, no way, man. That's BS. Shout out to guys for ending us on that positive note there.
Oh, you're very welcome. That's why I'm here to derail the shows.
Yeah, if you guys get really amped up, maybe we'll do Dirty Dancing or Ghost for you if we get out of control. So I don't think I've ever seen. I think I tried to watch Ghost one time and it was so slow that I'm pretty sure I turned it off on VHS. We're out.